sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. Much love to all.
One day, a man was walking back to his cottage in the woods from the city, where he worked as a blacksmith. As he was walking, suddenly he noticed a peculiar-shaped shadow started following his footsteps. He started to run, but no matter how fast he went, the shadow was able to keep up easily. He was really panting and getting very tired. Suddenly, the mysterious shadow vanished. He was suspicious, but the thought that the shadow was gone comforted him enough that he slowed back down to a walk. At this time of the day, the beautiful colors of the sunset were just fading and the sky was becoming dark. The bright moon soon came up. He looked to the side and saw the shadows of the gnarly trees starting to sway in the moonlight, as a strong wind picked up. As soon as he looked back down the path, the shadow appeared directly behind him. His heart skipped a bit, he immediately turned around. He was ready to sprint, but within a moment, it appeared right in front of his face, with its mouth gaping like a hungry monster. The holes in his eye sockets were staring straight into his eyes like lasers. He felt the life being sucked out of him. He dropped to the ground as lifeless as can be. About an hour later, he woke up only to find himself in his own house. He was found lying unconscious by his son, who dragged him home. As he opened his eyes, he found himself lying on his cot, with a hot rag on his forehead and a bowl of soup on the table on the side of the bed. As he looked up, he saw his wife and his two sons standing over him, inspecting him nervously. He started to tell them what had happened on the way back. His family thought that he had surely gone insane. His wife gave him some medicine and he fell asleep, fatigued. The next morning, he woke up weak but ready to go to work. He ate a hearty breakfast and went to the city again for his daily work. At the end of the day, it was time to go home. On his way home, he saw the creepy shadow again, just like the previous day. Again, it appeared right in front of him and seemed to suck the life out of him. This time, when he found himself lying on his cot, his family thought he worked too hard and thus fell ill because of his age and exhaustion. The man became bedridden for many days. He woke up to a breakfast of oatmeal, fell back asleep, woke up to a lunch of soup, fell back asleep, woke up to take his pills, and ate his soup leftovers from lunch for dinner. Each day, the routine was repeated. Finally, after about a month or so, his family agreed that he had enough energy to go to work. His family was running out of money. He went to work the next day. That night, he walked home triumphantly because he had just finished forging a nice metal fixture. He was fearful and thought about the shadow but tried consoling himself that it must have been his imagination. Ghosts don't exist, he thought. He crossed his heart and kept walking. No sooner he crossed the bridge that led him to the wooded path, he saw the shadow appear behind him and started to follow him. This time he pulled up his courage. He said, "You can't scare me," but his voice seemed weak and muffled. The shadow replied with a raspy voice, "I may not be able to scare you, but I can suck your life out of your body." Hearing that, the blacksmith's face became pale white. He started walking briskly. The shadow sped up. It jumped in front of him. The man's whole body became weak and he fell to the ground, his face hitting the road. Again, his life was being sucked out of him, and it was more powerful than ever. The shadow started to spiral and turn into a ball. The ball was hovering straight in the air. It flew around for a second, and then sped straight into his heart. The man fell over, winced, and writhed. His face became dark. He tried to speak. With some effort, he heard him say, "What just happened?" "Oh no." His voice was raspy, just like the shadow. He realized the horrifying reality. His body was the shadow's host. Now, he would walk around sucking life out of innocent people, to feed himself. He was a nightmare. He screamed and ran away. Nobody ever saw him again. His wife and son searched for him everywhere and at last they assumed he was dead. What they didn't know was that he was now possessed and was running around hurting and offing people and getting stronger as he drew life juice out of his victims. People were just vanishing, and nobody knew the reason of the problem. Nobody knew he had turned into a monster.
Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Till the next time, much love.